Alright, today is Tuesday, May 28th, and I just want to talk for a minute about article Jim Sinclair, just a little blurb he put out there talking about how over Memorial Day weekend, had the CFTC instituted a particular regulation that said that the banks had to mark their over-the-counter derivatives to a fair market value, that if that were to go into place, because right now the banks mark them for whatever they want. They just make up whatever crazy overinflated price of these OTC derivatives that they want, say that that's an asset on their balance sheet, and go gambling with the proceeds. But this regulation would have made them try to find a market price. I don't even know how you would find a price, because there's not a broad market for these things, and then give it some kind of a fair value. That right there would suck the capital base right out of the company and force depositors to do the bail-in. Because of Dodd-Frank, depositors, people who have checking and savings accounts, you're not a depositor, under the old bankruptcy laws. You are now an unsecured creditor of the bank, and the only thing that they have to give you in return for it doesn't matter whether it was your paycheck or you put in cash or you have direct deposit or whatever it is, however you have money in there, they can take it and give you a stock certificate of the bank that can be worth nothing. And that's where your savings and checking account right now are at, in any bank that's engaged in all of this derivatives, like JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. If you bank with Bank of America, if you bank with these big guys, you're crazy. You're out of your minds. And another point I wanted to bring up was the Adam Kokesh thing. No, before I go to that, let me finish with this one. That shows you how fragile the whole system is. If they were to actually do a little regulation and a little bit of limits on what these guys are getting away with, the whole system would collapse and they have to steal everything. So we know that that's eventually going to happen anyways. And so what are you left with? And then I want to, and now going to the Adam Kokesh, the march on July 4th, man, I totally support it. But it doesn't matter how many people you get out to bring a gun with them, or hold a sign, or yell at the congressman. Forget all of that stuff. Or vote. Forget all of that stuff. It would be more powerful if we got 1 million people. We say the population is 350 million people in a country. If we got 1 million people to close down their FDIC insured bank accounts, doesn't matter what bank you're in, if you were to close down your FDIC account and get into a credit union and use that as your method of bill payment, and then keep whatever extra stuff you have in cash, or better yet, buy some silver or buy some gold, depending on how much money you got to get rid of. But instead of holding it in digital currency, if you were to hold it into a physical currency, even paper, because remember, 97% of the cash has never even been printed, or it's 93%, something like that. The 1 million people would be more doing those simple changes with their banking would be more powerful than every single person in the entire country bringing a sign and a gun down to their legislative hall and waving their sign and showing their gun off and voting and all that other crap. All that stuff does not matter compared to what one fraction of the amount of people would happen if they were to change their banking habits, and to go even further, change their shopping habits and stop buying Monsanto based foods. We can protest all we want, we can call these assholes all we want. Nothing's going to change. We have to change. and we gotta just quit using it. And I say use Bitcoin. Get on the Bitcoin. You have a little piece of it. And embrace it. Embrace it as an option. But have some silver. Have some food. Get your gardens going. Have all that stuff first. All right. That's all I want to say. Get out of the banks, man. It's coming down. And just the act of all of us doing it together would force it to happen sooner than what they have planned. And the last thing is we cannot accept any global currency, and we cannot accept any digital currency. The only way we get our sovereignty back, our national sovereignty, our individual sovereignty, is that we have control over the government, and the government has control over the issuance of the currency, not a private bank. All right, that's all.